Right now, for shocking news from the Sacramento Kings, just 31 games into the season, head coach Mike Brown has been fired. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here at 4 o'clock. I'm Brady Halbleib.
And I'm Ashley Sharp. CBS 13's Jake Gayden joining us now, covering this breaking news. Jake, some in the sports world calling this a major shakeup. Walk us through what led to this decision.
Guys, this is a really breaking news here in the Beam team. The Kings have started the season 13-18, currently on a 5-game losing skid, have lost an NBA high 13 clutch time games as the tensions within the organization began to rise, leading to the firing of Mike Brown. This guy is the same guy that led the Kings to back-to-back winning records, snapped that 17-year playoff drought, earning NBA Coach of the Year in 2022. Brown finished his career with a 107-88 record in just 2.5 years here in Sacramento, and just signed a 2-year extension only 6 months ago in July. I was able to talk to Mike minutes before he was fired, and here's what he had to say on the mounting pressure of the 5-game losing skid.
And that's what I'm going to do, and I'm okay with anybody criticizing me because, again, I get paid to handle that. I get paid to get us through this. But whether it's anybody that's close, staff, players, friends, family, you know, you'll be able to tell who was on the who jumped off a little bit when we had some trying times, and you just always remember that as you go forward because you know who's truly in the foxhole with you and who's not. But at the end of the day, you best believe I'm going to handle all the smoke, no matter where that smoke comes from, because that's what I'm paid to do.
Doug Christie, the current assistant coach for the Kings and former NBA player, has been named interim head coach as the team now flies to Los Angeles to take on the Lakers tomorrow night, guys.
He talks about facing that smoke. Smoke was about to come right from inside the house.
Yes.
Jake, talk to us about how exactly the firing happened this morning.
We'll get to that in just a second. I believe we're going to Esteban first. Am I wrong on this? No, we aren't. Yeah,
okay. Let's talk about it now. That's the big question, right, Jake?
100%. Okay, so this is basically what went down, guys, today, right? We were going to Kings practice. They had availability prior to the game today, right? And prior to leaving to Los Angeles. Mike had a full-blown practice with the team today, right? He talked with De'Aaron Fox and DeMar DeRozan prior to this game, prior to them leaving, talking about Fox's comments last night, which I don't think really hit the team very well. And going from there, it kind of just went as normal as practice would. We talked to DeMar after practice, Keegan after practice, and then talked with Mike Brown for over 15 minutes about accountability and what this team was going to look like. 10 minutes later, Mike Brown was fired. Like, this is just absolutely crazy. Like, this is one of the most unprofessional things I probably have ever seen in my professional career. How do you go from firing your head coach to talking with the media 15 minutes before that is bonkers to me. And he's not the one to blame. I hate to say that, guys. Mike Brown isn't the one to blame. It's everyone. Everyone's hands in the cookie jar, from Monty McNair to Wes Wilcox, the players, to Mike. Everyone's at fault for where they're at. But Mike Brown, of course, was the scapegoat today.
And fans are going to be shocked by this, of course. And
yeah,
people
they
have
will.
been following this on social media. You can find it everywhere, basically, at this point.
Absolutely. And you get the sense, Jake, that really he had no idea this was coming, Mike Brown?
I don't know if he saw it not coming. I think there was definitely tensions were building within the building, right? And I think this is something that they were continuously trying to see what's going to be next. Was it going to be a major trade with one of the players? Was it going to be De'Aaron Fox on the trading block? Were they going to try to fill in the gaps with their deficiencies, especially at the wing position? To say this was coming, I don't think everyone saw it coming, but knew something was going to happen.
Right.
Ended up being Mike Brown.
That something needed to change,
Yes.
That's for sure. Jake, thanks so much. We're going to stay with you as he follows this. Let's get to some reaction. Kings fans no doubt frustrated after a 5-game losing streak, now looking to the future.
Yeah, your reporter Esteban Reynoso continues our team coverage tonight. Esteban, what have you been hearing?
Brady, Ashley, a lot of the fans echoing what Jake had to say. They really don't like this move. A lot of them saying, quote, it's not his fault. They think this move was kind of just out of nowhere. A lot of them like to look at what good Mike Brown brought to the team instead of the bad, instead of this season that started out with that 13-18 record, instead of looking at last night and the 5 straight losses that they've had. But a lot of the fans here, lifelong fans that we've spoken to, they say they just don't like this. Take a listen.
Ridiculous. We had hope for 1 year. They were good. Mike Brown came in, and now we're just setting ourselves back. Like, firing Mike Brown's not going to change anything. They're not going to just magically be good. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've heard that word used a lot. It's ridiculous around here as well. Now, we've also broken the news to some Kings fans that have been walking around here at Golden One Center. So as we've been breaking the news to them, a lot of them are wondering why. That's kind of the big question, the question mark that's left on everybody's head. But of course, now a lot of people saying that the next thing under the microscope is the players, how they perform after this, guys.
All right, Esteban, thanks. We're going to bring Jake back in. Jake, for Mike Brown, how do you go from leading this team just 2 seasons ago to breaking that playoff drought of 16 years, NBA Coach of the Year, now to where he is today, fired by his team?
I would say it was just a constitution of a lot of things, right? They had a great year 2 years ago. No one really expected them to have the season that they did, and then they went from that and didn't make many major changes with the roster. The rosters had some deficiency of what they needed to do, right? Here's the video I was talking about earlier with Mike Brown talking to De'Aaron Fox earlier today about some of his issues that he had last night with his comments after the game of saying, I don't know where this team goes. But where Mike Brown went, where did Mike Brown go from here and where it went wrong? I think like I said, everyone's at fault for it. Everyone's in the cookie jar with this, right? They didn't make any changes to the roster. They have some clear deficiencies at the wing position, at the forward position, where they don't have enough length to be able to compete on a nightly basis. They brought in DeMar DeRozan thinking that he would be able to solve some of the problems, but he's not. They didn't fix the problem that they had in the first place, which is truly not having a roster that is constructed to be able to win games night in and night out. They have the shooting. DeMar DeRozan's great. De'Aaron Fox is great. Malik, DeMontis, all those guys, but they still needed role players around them to make this work, and that really didn't happen.
Yeah. All right. Need those puzzle pieces. You've got them. They just aren't pieced fully together yet.
Yes.
Jake, thanks so much.